Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is the 22nd review of Series 2, Long Cut Wintergreen. And as you just saw, it will be of the Derringer product. This is also the final installment of Long Cut Wintergreen. There had been originally one more. It had been the sister product Klondike. Unfortunately, I accidentally bought pouches and have not been able to correct that situation. So, for now, that will have to be an add-on at a later date. Today, or this evening rather, we will be taking a look at Derringer. That is your typical CN smokeless tobacco company, black plastic lid with a sticker on it. This is a product that's usually found in places where Decade is not, from what I've heard online. All right. Premium moist tobacco. Not snuff, premium moist tobacco. Don't know why they do that. Just one more thing that slightly shades me out. Got the cut and the barcode. The warning label. Manufacturer's information was at the top there, above the warning label. You got branding, and back around the barcode. There is a pinpoint yellow code on the back. It is F89272. Not quite sure what that means. Not quite sure if that really matters. Anyway, I just did the Decade review a little while ago, and I actually sort of got lucky on that one, so I'm hoping the luck holds going through this. So I'm going to crack this now. They got really rubbery bands and flimsy lids. And the combination of those two make it hard to get these things open. Especially where their bands double over on themselves. Because the can and the lid give while you're trying to cut the band. Man, good grief. Okay. So, I may have just gotten lucky again. The cut is a bit inconsistent. This looks slightly drier than the Decade of a little while ago. It's a little bit more brown than it's showing. All right. Smell off the can is just sort of a regular wintergreen. I'm not detecting anything of that alcohol background, which is a good thing. I don't think I've ever actually shown these lids or tested them before, but they're like the Pinkerton. They do have more of a depression in the middle than the Pinkerton does, so they're very slightly harder to... Oh my god, I just sent crap off the lid all over my desk again. Well, I know what the pinching is going to be like now. They give slightly more resistance than a Pinkerton lid because of that depression they have, but they're pretty flimsy. I'm going to take a pinch of this and then I'm going to hit pause. I am going to be talking about a possible contest at the end of this video for anybody that wants to stick around. Yeah, I was ready for it this time, but it's pinching about the same as the Decade. I'll be back in a second. Good grief. And I am back. Okay, so, sorry, I'm messing with my mouse there. I got lucky again, all right? For whatever reason, the Decade and the Derringer CN Smokeless Tobacco Company was able to pull off the wintergreen without any smell or taste of alcohol. that whatever that alcohol is that some of the cheaper dips are using in their processing. That said, the cut is terrible. Although this, unlike the Decade, is staying a little bit better formed. It left a heavy trail when I pushed it around the side. It's going to leave, you're going to have floaters. Taste is all right. It's a wintergreen. There is a tingle that I'm guessing is whatever they're using to make it wintergreen. Nicotine is there. I'm sure it's not high though by any means. The packaging is cheap. It's inconsistent in cut. This stuff is definitely the Decade's cut was absolute nonsense, but at least it was pretty standard. I mean, it was consistent nonsense. Okay, this not so much, although it does seem to be staying better formed in the mouth. The Decade of the last review was literally moving around in my cheek. Taste wise, you know what this you know what this is like? Like Back Off or something like that. If this was a dip alternative, then they would have done a really good job. But unfortunately, this is evidently actual dip. So, not so much. I don't like bad mouthing it, but C&N Smokeless Tobacco Company of Grover, North Carolina. It has this Decade, and under a slightly different company name, Cheyenne International, it has Klondike. Their straights were absolutely horrific. All right. They have done a better job on the wintergreens. But, I mean, look, if you can get it for $1.09, under $1.50, it might be okay for the wintergreen. All right. That's really the best I can say about it. I would go with a Pinkerton product before any of them. I'd go with a Longhorn and deal with the crap cut there before I dealt with this company. I set out saying that I wouldn't trash talk companies, and I sort of feel bad, but at the same time, I don't want to be like, hey, go get yourself some Derringer, it's awesome. No, it's really not. It's just not. I wish I could say it was, but it's not. That said, these wintergreens from Decade and Derringer have been much, much better than the Swisher International counterparts, Silver Creek and Kayak, and definitely better than the Cooper. The Cooper was, wow, okay. Anyway, it's cheap packaging, it's cheap dip. The cut is horrific. It's comfortable in the mouth, and I think there's nicotine there, but I don't think it's very high. The smell off the can is a strong wintergreen smell. The taste is a fairly strong wintergreen. It's not bitter. I wouldn't say it's overly sweet. It's just, I couldn't imagine a situation I would be in where I'd be backed into a corner and buy this, but I'm sure there are people that get in those situations all the time. If you are in a situation like that, you could get by with it. But I would go with a Pinkerton product. I mean, Timberwolf or Longhorn first. But again, you may want to go with these before you go with a Swisher. Anyway, this has been the review of Derringer Wintergreen. Okay. Tomorrow I will be doing a series wrap-up of the Long Cut Wintergreen series, and I may do a drawing if anybody actually wants me to mail this to them. Keep in mind it will be out of a box. People will leave comments here in tomorrow's video if they're interested. I will take all those names, put them in a probably half and half tin, and I'll draw it out. Keeping in mind, though, if you are interested for whatever reason in this, and me mailing it to you, you'll have to actually leave me your address at my email. Okay, so I don't know how people feel about that. Otherwise, I have no intention of doing pouches anytime real soon. So this will be well out of date before I even got that far. So I thought, you know, if anybody wants me to mail it to them, I'll eat the shipping. All right, guys, do take care of yourselves, and God bless.